Generation 3. The generation that introduced me to Pokemon. It brought along quite some lovely Pokemon. One in more ways than one, for a lot of people. Anyways, kicking off the list number 10, we have Trico. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of its evolution line, but I really like the stage 1s for the starters in this generation. Trico especially just really looks cool. And I'm usually not a fan of grass Pokemon, so yeah, kudos to Pokemon. They really nailed it with Trico. I really like him as a starter. Talking about starters that are cool in their first form, my number 9 is Mudkip. Not a situation where I don't really like the evolutions necessarily. I do think Mudkip is adorable. Yeah, a lot of people have memed it also, which is a sign it is a really cool, iconic design. A lot of people like Mudkip to this day. Including me, I like Mudkip. My number 8 is Breloom. This is not related to a certain Luigi using Bullet Seed in real life, trust me. Breloom by itself is actually a really cool Pokemon. It's a grass fighting mix, which is an interesting mix. Honestly, if you're not limiting yourself, you always want to run Breloom in this generation. It's just such a solid Pokemon. I like its design. It's really, really cool. Yeah, I have nothing negative to say about it. He's just a cool guy. My number 7 is Mightyena. Usually the early trash Pokemon don't interest me, but Mightyena just stands out as really cool, basically fodder early Pokemon. Whenever I'm playing this game, I am catching it. I am getting myself a Mightyena. I just think it's a really nice Pokemon for the first 30 levels or so, for the first half of the game. It doesn't scale as well in the late game, which is a shame. How come we're almost at Gen 10 and we don't have a third stage evolution yet? Come on, it's time. Add a Mightyena evolution. Don't be cowards. We all want it. And I also really like Dark Pokemon. My number 6 is Seviper. Fun fact, the first level 100 I ever trained was Seviper. I'm not sure why Kid.Me did this, but Kid.Me trained Seviper to level 100. I of course started with Sapphire as my first generation, and I just Seviper was really, really cool. To this day I still think Seviper is really, really cool, so it's my number 6. My number 5 is Rayquaza. Yeah, I do like myself some legendaries at times, and Rayquaza is no exception. I think Rayquaza is a very great legendary. Therefore, it's my number 5. Simple as that. My number 4 is Slaking. Not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. I think Slacking makes sense. I used to pronounce it a really weird Dutch way, Slacking, but I don't think that is quite correct. So, this Pokemon is really unique and interesting. It's insanely powerful. It has, like, the highest stats in the game, I think. However, it kind of comes with a small negative. After its turn, it needs to relax for a turn. It needs to chill. It needs to skip a turn. Which is really, really interesting. Now, in the Pokemon games, you can just kill somebody, then tag out. And then if wild Pokemon, if you want to hit kill them, your battle is over. You don't have another turn. Which makes for a really interesting design. But yeah, I think it creates a very unique design, being able to hit hard, but then skip a turn. Yeah, I really liked it. My number 3 is Ludicolo, especially if you played Pokemon Colosseum. I think this one is high on your list. It was so iconic. Mirror B with his iconic theme song and the dancing Ludicolo. They're so iconic. I think Ludicolo in general is a very cool Pokemon. It's a water grass type, which always gives me brain freeze when I'm fighting it. I'm like, what am I supposed to use against this? Fire? No. I'm not sure. It's a really strong Pokemon that, yeah, it's just one of those staples. You always want a water Pokemon this generation anyway. Ludicolo is a really great option for that. My number 2 is Absol. Yeah, I just really like its cool, mysterious design. I've always been a fan of dark Pokemon. They're edgy, I'm edgy. Wow, what a surprise, right? And yeah, Absol is just cool. Simple as that. My number 1 is Gardevoir. Yeah, Gardevoir is very popular with certain people in the Pokemon community. But it's also just a really cool Pokemon. It later became a half fairy. It used to just be psychic, but even as just psychic Pokemon, it was amazing. Then it became a psychic fairy and it became even better. Yeah, completely strong Pokemon. You can catch a Ralts early on and just use it till the end of the game, which is always nice. Just being able to use Pokemon all game long without issues. Gardevoir is a really cool design. I really do think it's a nice looking Pokemon. I like it a lot, and yeah. Such a cool and iconic Pokemon. So, what's your favorite Generation 3 Pokemon? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.